Hello everyone and welcome back to Bitwig's studio and music production. This is lesson 5.25 and by now I hope you're as stoked and excited about this little instrument as I am. It sounds absolutely fantastic and is capable of just so much, and we've only been covering the first oscillator. And that's what we're going to continue to do in this video, and we're going to talk about voicing and unison detune. So in the case of our synthesizer right now, we only have one voice, meaning there's only one version of this particular sound coming through. We just have one saw wave. Now what I can do is I can change the number of voices down here. Right now it's at 1. If I change this to 2, pull my detune down to 0, what in essence we're doing is doubling the signal. So it's as if we've taken a second saw wave, layered it on top with perfect phase. And so we know what that does. It doubles our signal. And you can hear that's actually already widened it out a little bit because it's not going to, like a real analog synthesizer, it's not going to be perfect. Okay, so this is analog modeled. It's emulating true analog synthesis. And as I continue to increase this, it will continue to widen out a bit. And we can go all the way up to 16 different voices. Now this doesn't sound that much more interesting than 2 voices. Maybe a little bit more interesting, but we can really make this thing sing when we start to use our unison detune, or in this case, it's called the unison spread. So what is the unison spread control? What it's going to do is it's going to take the 16 duplicates of this sine wave, and it's going to start to change their tuning ever so slightly. So they're all going to be tuned slightly differently by just a few cents, or even sometimes less than that. And we already know how the Haas effect works when we have 2 pitches, 2 frequencies that are slightly different from one another. We have these all sorts of interesting phase cancellations and phase combinations occurring. And so as the signal is trying to fight and find phase, we're going to have this incredible spreading effect occurring. So it's really going to make our sound super stereo. And remember, we're working in mono right now. Okay, so only one note can be played at a time. And let's just listen to how crazy this can get. Let's put it on 2 right now and start messing with this unison noise. Now you have to be careful about how hard you put this, because if we're on 2 and we pull unison spread up to 100 cents, super dissonant. It's like just playing a, let's open up another polysynth real quick. It's like playing a minor second. Let's just play this real quick so you can hear it. Okay, you hear that interval? If we select 2 voices and we put them 100 cents detuned, that's what we're going to get. Only at least it's nice and spread, so you kind of can hear the separate pitches there. But this gets a lot more fun when your unison spread is quite low and you have a lot more voices. So let's start doing that. And you can see our phase correlation meter here also jumping around. So we're adding stereo width. Our phases are slightly off. And again, this is very characteristic of classic analog synths. And just watch what happens to the frequency spectrum as we continue to increase the number of voices. And then we'll also start to maybe mess with this unison a bit more. So let's put this right down to like 3 or 2. So you can keep listening as I'm adding in voices. Listen very closely. And now we're looking for the sweet spot. And actually, it's interesting. 16 voices. Put this onto something like 16 and listen to just how wide this sounds. So this is like the workings of a super saw with just one oscillator, 16 voices, some unison spread. Again, be careful about how high you put this up. One great trick is to always put something to its extreme and then pull back until you hit that sweet spot just right. And with analog synthesis, that's something that you'll have to do all the time. Looking for the sweet spot. It's not always going to be where you'd expect. And not only this, but we can add some more interest by maybe adjusting the shape, changing the pulse width. And then we can increase our output. So unison spread, it's a classic analog synthesis device. Everybody loves it. I've never come across somebody who said they've hated the unison spread effect on any synthesizer. I hope you guys get a lot out of it. Have some fun experimenting, and you'll hear from me again in the next lesson. Take care.